Welcome back, everybody, to Just Got Played. We have another Gaming Through themes for you. Had to remember which Gaming Through we've done because there's been so many, but now we are doing themes, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. And you were in our Facebook, you were part of our poll, you know what the people's choices were and everything, but we are doing exploration. We are going out, we are finding stuff that no one knew what it was, all on a table. So hopefully you're a book reader like me and like fiction and going out and having travels, because that's what they try to do on a board. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Each of us are going to talk about our two favorite exploration-based games. And we kind of sort of agreed, but I'm just going to talk for everybody because I'm hosting this episode. But we're going to focus on games where you actually go in. I guess not a dungeon. Some people had a thing about that, but whatever. Going in and you don't know what's there when you set the game up. You have to go in and actually move your little worker or meeple, whatever it is, and discover it, flip a tile, go into a room, whatever it is. I have a book for mine that kind of works too. So without further ado, we will start this off. And Tiffany, you can go first. Why not?
All right. So I'm going to be honest. I've only prepared one. So I'm going to be thinking real hard while y'all are talking and figuring out my second one. So
behind the scenes.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that out loud? Sorry.
No, you're good.
So I know for sure, though, like as soon as I was talking to Babe about whether or not I was going to be in this video tonight, I was like, I know exactly the game when you say the word exploration to me, like this game comes to mind. And it's not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But for me, the game that I feel like evokes the idea of exploration the most is Seventh Continent. So Seventh Continent is a card-based game where you are put in the middle of nowhere and you are exploring the continent that you have landed on. And you create this continent with cards that are in a huge box. That's all it is. It's just cards. And the picture, like it's you can see, you create the map with the cards, you lay them out on the table, and you find different points on the map, and then you interact with them. It might be a hole that you can like kind of see in, and it looks like there's something shiny in there. And so maybe you walk up to the hole and you are adventurous and you stick your hand in because you want to see what's shiny in there. Or maybe you decide that you're going to go up and you're going to try to lure out anything that might be inside there, or you just make different decisions as you encounter the terrain. And it's not everybody's cup of tea because it is card based. So there aren't an unlimited amount of options. I mean, it's really good about like you might get a different result the first time you stick your hand into that hole and the third time you stick your hand into that hole. It's not always going to be the same every time. But at the same time, it's cards. So there are only so many things that are going to happen when you stick your hand in that hole. So it's a lot of people don't like the idea that you could just play it enough that you memorize it and then you kind of you learn how to win the game. But I'm the kind of person that I love games where I have to beat my head against a wall 50 times before I figure out, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go in, do this, and then do that. And then that's how you win. And so we ultimately did put Seventh Continent on our games to remove from our collection because it's not Babe's favorite kind of game. But I love the idea, even if there aren't an unlimited number of options of what's going to happen when I stick my hand in that hole. I am a big fan of doing the same thing 100 times to learn the dance, to learn what I'm supposed to do so that I can go in there and navigate the island and be like, bam, this island is my bitch. And, so yeah, Seventh Continent is a lot of fun for me. That's my favorite exploration game. Now, please don't ask me any questions while I feverishly think of what I'm going to say for the next game.
Well, it's good you went first, so you got plenty of time to figure that out.
Can we snake it?
And we will wipe sticking hands from holes for mine. Okay, so that's Seven Continents. Sounds very interesting. Yep, I'm a fan of that. Yeah. So I will go second. We're gonna move on from that. Yes. My exploration game, and I tried to stick to our definition, going out and flipping stuff over and seeing what it is. I went with Drakon. I bought this game not knowing what it was. I was like, ooh, 6-player game. It has dragon. I bought it. And then I realized, ooh, this is like Betrayal House on the Hill and other flippy tile games. I was like, this is cool. And then you can make the dragon do stuff. And then you have your little archer or mage or sorcerer or whatever. You got the 6 different things. So basically it's a dungeon builder type thing. You're going exploring the dragon's dungeon.
What is this called?
What?
What is it called?
Drakon.
I'm sorry, proceed.
Yeah. So basically, you are flipping tiles. I liked it because it had the different gallery of people, the different roles, the different, can't think of the word now, but you got an archer and all those different things, and warrior and all that. And then you have 6 players, and then you're going around. You can try to steal the dragon's gold really quick, or you can make the dragon go attack other people. So it has to take that and thing. So you're a party, but you're not a party because you're trying to, you're individually trying to do this thing. You can team up if you want to, but I thought it just looked very pretty. The tiles are very nice. They're pretty big. And I like Betrayal House on the Hill. So like any of those type of games with like 6 people that can play and it doesn't take too long, I like. And then it had a dragon, obviously. So you're stealing dragon's gold. It's pretty much every basic fantasy story out there. Like most common anyway. So not too complicated. Play 6 players. I haven't played it with any less, so I don't know how it scales so much. But yeah, if you want a little quick game for a very light game for newbies to play, and this is a board game, here you go. Drakon.
Cool. I looked it up while you were talking.
Yes, I need to do that sometimes too because I don't know what you guys are talking about half the time.
I've never played it, but I remember it like from back in the day. What did it say?
It wasn't. I don't know if it was like super popular because I did get it on sale when I bought it. I was just like looking for a 6-player game, but yeah, I was like, oh, this
is Fantasy Flight nice. 2001.
Yeah, it's very simple and it's 6 players, so I was like, that's cool. But yeah, the theme was great. It was very thematic for me because you really feel like you're going into a dungeon, this little cave to steal the dragon's gold. So there you go. All right, 2 up, 1 left. First pick. Erock, go.
Okay, so I'm going to continue the philosophical discussion a little bit. So this is a tricky one because this whole series is about gaming through themes. And you could have a theme of a game that doesn't necessarily feel like that theme. And I feel like there's a lot of games in this category. Especially if you do like an advanced search on the Geek, there's a lot of things that come up here, and I just don't feel like I'm exploring. I have a feeling we're going to talk about Lost Ruins of Arnak at some point in time, and I'm just saying that has the theme of you are exploring this island, but I don't feel like I'm exploring an island. I just feel like I'm going to worker placement pieces. And yeah, you flip something over every once in a while, but the board never changes. Like it's the same board and you're still doing all that stuff. So, I mean, we all have these ideas and these feelings about things. And like I said, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about Arnak here in a little bit. So I'm not trying to disparage it so much, but for me, I'm with JJ on this. Like, I got to feel like I'm actually exploring something for an exploration theme. Like, just making a game about Indiana Jones doesn't do it for me. I want to be able to go and explore stuff. And I think my first pick here is this in a nutshell. And I'm talking about Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. I think it's fantastic. It is an exploration game. It's also a Cthulhu game, and there's all kinds of craziness going on with that, and cultists and nether ones and all kinds of craziness like that going on. But the game's run by an app, and this is one of the first ones that was truly run by an app. And there was a lot of outcry about this in a lot of different ways, as well as a lot of praise for this. And, just like most things, now it's just kind of normal. Now games just kind of are made with apps sometimes, and sometimes they're not, and it's just part of the hobby. But this was a big deal back in the day. And what really makes it feel like exploration to me is you are, right, sometimes it's a town, sometimes it's a house or whatever, but you start in one location. And then as you explore, that, like you tell the app, all right, I'm going to open this door. And then it shows you what room you need to pull out or what house you need to pull out or whatever to attach to that so that you now open that door and now you can see what's in there. So that really feels like exploring to me, because until you open that door, the map's not all laid out there on the table. All you can see is what you can see on the app. And then you open that door and it's like, oh, now you see this room. Then you get that room out. And then there's, of course, there's the other like underlayer of exploration is now you explore that room and find things and books and things and cultists and all kinds of stuff and weird puzzles that you got to solve and all kinds of things. But as you're playing the game, it opens up as you go. And I just feel that it just feels very exploratory to me that you're opening it up as you go. It's not all laid out there. You're not like looking ahead going, in 5 turns, I'm going to discover that thing over there. Well, it doesn't work like that here. You have no idea what's through those doors until you open them. And I think it's really cool. It really helps to set the mood for Arkham Horror as well. Being a horror theme, as it were, it helps because everything's like scary and a surprise when it happens. So anyway, that's my first pick is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. And I have a feeling we're going to be hearing about this one also. Anyhow, back to you, sir.
Okay. So I too learned about this game and saw the app, and it kind of deterred me, I guess you'd say, back in the day. Back in the day when we're talking about apps on phones so long ago.
That's so long ago.
But yeah, it was, back in the day when the Wi-Fi wasn't that great. And I think it came out before like unlimited data was a thing. So yeah, I kind of went to Betrayal House on the Hill because there was no app. So definitely want to check it out. I always wanted to check it out. And then it got really expensive. So I got scared a little bit, but I will check this out one time. And
I did say it was Fantasy Flight, right? If I didn't, it's Fantasy Flight.
It's very expensive. So yeah, I do want to check it out because I do like Betrayal, and I've always wanted to. That's one of those games that's been like, oh, it's over there somewhere, and I'll get to it eventually.
Add it to the list.
Yeah. All right, so that's everybody's first pick. So we're going to go back around again, and I think I'm going to start it. So I'll go and start the second pick train, and I'm chugging along, and I am going to go with Clank Catacombs. So everybody knows what Clank is. I recently got to play Clank Catacombs. I think it was very thematic with exploration, but I did not like it as much as the other Clanks. I will say that right now, because I'm very much the guy that's like, okay, I need 4 boots for this, and then I can get rid of everything else, and I'm just going to keep playing these 4 boots, and I'm going to grab the 30, and I'm going to grab the 15, and I'm going to run right out of it. It's right there. So Clank Catacombs, very much the discovery type thing. You start in the main part of the dungeon, and you build the dungeon as you go along, so you don't know what's coming out, and you don't know where the treasure artifact things are, so you have to go find it. And you might be 2 hours into the game, and you still don't have the 30, because it's like you didn't dig down far enough. So that's a little bit crazy, but it's also nice because there are teleporters in there. They put magic teleporters this time, since, Clank Space has the scientific, teleporters technology. But there are teleporters in this, and you have to navigate the dungeon. And what's weird is when you're building the dungeon, there might not be like a big circle for you to go back to the entrance. You might have to get like all the way at the end, and then there's no path that connects. So you have to go back the way you came from and hopefully get out the dungeon before the dragon attacks you too much. You take too much damage. So very, very stressful compared to regular Clank, as it already is, because you're hoping you get a boot in Clank, which is not the thing in here. You could have a bunch of boots, but then still not be able to move because there's like a wall of crystal caves that just happen to pop up where you're trying to run to. So very much more stressful than regular Clank, very much exploratory type thing. So I feel like it's more of an evolution than an expansion. I don't know, because it doesn't really match up with the other ones. So it's almost like a different game because you're doing more of the actual exploring type thing. So hopefully they come out with more expansions for this. I guess you just get different tiles. There was so much on each of these tiles. Like once you put them all together, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. So I would suggest playing Clank and then moving on to like Clank in Space, because as you went, like more the Clanks that came along, they have more icons on them. This one definitely has a lot. So if you're going to jump into the Clank world, I would suggest playing regular Clank first so you can get used to it. Because even with me being a veteran player, I'll just say I'm a veteran player, whatever. Playing the Catacombs, I was like, what is this again? There was so much going on. And then you try to get something going and then somebody turns the tile and it's like, okay, well, I can't even leave now. So I just have to sit here. You can actually get trapped in the dungeon. So I thought it was very good, very thematic with the exploration theme. So yeah, my second pick, Clank Catacombs. I don't know how much it was compared to the other Clanks. It seemed more expensive because there was a lot more going on. But yeah, if you have the time and the experience and invest in it, Clank Catacombs.
We've played a lot of Clank, but we've never played this one. And I agree, just from hearing you, it sounds like a different game. Because in Clank, you go, all right, but on 4 turns, I hope to get enough boots to go into this room. Then I can go shopping, and then I can go down here to this place. And I know I'm going to get stuck in the crystal caves, but that's okay. And then the next turn, I can get where I'm going. And this does not sound like that at all because you can't plan any of that out. It's just what happens, happens.
No, usually in a deck builder, you can plan your turn and be ready to go when your turn comes up. But if somebody decides to turn a tile and you can't get out, it's like, I got 11 boots. I was planning on leaving right now, but I can't even go anywhere. So my boots, I'm running around in a circle. It's like, it's so frustrating because, regular Clank, you can just plan it. Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. But no, this is very much, you can screw other people in here. And, it's very frustrating. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so I guess we're going to go with Erock to somebody gets more time to do their second pick. So, Erock, why don't you tell us what your second pick is?
My second pick is a bit of a classic. And it's one that I've kind of just held on to for a long time. My second pick name is Tikal. It's one of the T games, as it were. But basically, Tikal is you are exploring a Maya jungle. We'll go with Maya. Could be Maya, could be Aztec. I don't remember. But you're exploring the ruins in a jungle. So as you move from your base camp, like everybody starts at the same base camp, and then as you move out, you put these tiles out that kind of make paths through till you get to these to the pyramids. And once you get to the pyramids, then you basically clear the brush away from each level, and you kind of, you're really just building the pyramids, kind of the way the game works, but you like keep putting higher, and it all stacks on top of each other. Like a 5 is this big, a 4 is a little smaller and it goes on top of it. A 3 is a little smaller and it goes on top of that. The version that I have is all cardboard. The newest version, it's plastic and it looks really cool as you build these pyramids on the map. But the point is, the whole point of this game is that you're exploring the jungle and trying to uncover these pyramids. And then there's a way that you score them, as it were, and all that. This is, like I said, it's a really old game. This has, the way you play it's kind of weird. We just don't play games like this anymore. All right. So basically on your turn, you get 10 action points, 10. And then you can do whatever you want out of this menu of things that take anywhere from 1 to 5 action points. So I could do 10 1 things, or I can do 2 5 things or whatever. But it's just, but like I said, there's just this menu of things that you can do on your turn, put a level on a temple, or explore more spaces, or grab one of the artifacts, or stuff like that. And everything has a cost in actions. So your turn is 10 actions, spend how you want. And then it kind of moves on to the next person to do their 10 and spend how they want. And the scoring rounds are really cool because basically, when a volcano comes out of the tile mix, that means there's going to be a scoring round. And scoring rounds are kind of cool because everything stops when that happens, right? So your regular exploration and everything else that you're doing just kind of takes a pause for a minute. And then everybody takes a scoring turn on their own turn, kind of a thing. So you will go clockwise and everybody gets to score, but everybody scores after they themselves take a turn of moving and doing things. So this makes the scoring very fluid in this game, because in most games, the scoring is like a snapshot. At a very particular time, you take a snapshot. And then especially area control games, which the temples on this are very much area control. But you know what I'm saying? In a game of risk is wrong for this, but you see what I'm saying? In an area area control game, like when you score, you take a snapshot. Like think of El Grande if you've ever played El Grande. At a certain point, you stop all the stuff and now you score the map. You know what I'm saying? In this game, you don't just stop and score. All right. You kind of pause the rest of the game and then I take a full turn of 10 actions and then I score. And then you take a full turn of 10 actions and then you score. And then she takes a full turn of 10 actions and then she scores. So that allows a lot of maneuverability around because you might score the same thing I did because you might spend your turn getting a couple more people on the same places to then be able to score those places. So see what I'm saying? Like it's very fluid with the scoring because it changes as people take their turns. I think that's a really cool mechanism in this game. Like I said, I've been carrying this one around a long time. Like back when our collection, or at that point in time, my collection was like one bookshelf. Tikal was on it. And now it's like an entire room full of bookshelves, full of games, and Tikal's still on there. I really like Tikal. I think it's really fun to play. And I think everybody should give it a shot. This is one of those things I feel like just kind of got lost in time because it's a little old, but it's still out there. Like I said, the second edition came out not that long ago, a few years ago, and it's got really cool plastic bits in it. So that's pretty. Tikal.
Okay. All right. That sounds interesting. Sounds a little small worldy where you score after everybody's turn. Yeah.
Well, like I'm saying, like when a volcano comes out, then that marks, all right, we're going to have a scoring round. And then at that point, everybody takes in turn order a full turn and then scores.
Interesting.
So it's not like Small World where you're constantly scoring. It's just that when it triggers, then everybody gets a chance to move their stuff around and maneuver to score. So it's really cool.
All right. That's interesting. Yeah, we got to add that to the list. Put that
add it to the list.
Add it to the list. We need to add it to the list icon right here. Add it to the list. All right. Well, we've burnt enough time. That should just be the name of our channel. It's add it to the list. Yeah, there we go. This is a sub channel. So we're just gonna have like an icon on here. So we've kind of expanded on the thing here. We've got spent more time, and then somebody has their second pick now, and they can go.
You can do it, babe. You can do it.
It's not a good pick. It's not a good pick. But I'm gonna go with it because I was scrolling through in my brain of all of the games that have an exploration component, and I thought of this game, and I was like, I love that game, and so I decided to do it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's a terrible choice, but I'm going to go with it anyways. The reason why it's a terrible choice is there's no map in this game, so it's really hard to have an exploration game where there's no map. But you do explore, you build a party, you get together, you go explore, you get results. You just don't have a concrete place that you go to do that. You do it in your imagination. So this game is, it's a great game. I love it a lot. It's called Above and Below. And so in this game,
there's no map, right?
There's no map in it, Above and Below, but you gather your party together of the cards that you've collected of the different party members that you could choose from, and you get them together and you go out and you explore and you encounter these experiences and you make choices about what you're going to do, and it's just a lot of fun, I think, exploring that game and exploring that world. So even though there's no map, there's no tiles you're flipping over or cards you're flipping over to reveal what's in that hole that you're going to stick your hand into. There is still a make-believe map in your head and in your heart about what you're exploring when you play Above and Below. But it's a really fun game. It was one of the first games that I played where there was a fun choose your own adventure type element to it, where you're presented with these scenarios and you have to decide what you're going to do. And then there's a story that comes about because of it. And I just really enjoy that. I think it's a lot of fun. I love the art in all of Ryan Laukatt's games. I think that they're beautiful, and I think that they're really whimsically done. And that for me makes a game a lot of fun. I really like whimsy in my games because at the end of the day, I love to think and I love to crunch and I love to problem solve in my games, but I'm there to have fun, and a little bit of whimsy never hurt anybody. And so I can definitely appreciate it in my games. And there's definitely a ton of whimsy in Ryan Laukett's games and the stories that he tells and the pictures that he paints. But so not a great choice, but it's a choice that I went with because it's a lot of, I enjoy the exploration component of that game tremendously, even though there's no map. And that was Ryan Laukett's Above and Below.
Can we maybe just agree to call it a placeholder?
Sure. And I'll come up with something better.
It's a placeholder for maybe Sleeping Gods, because we haven't had a chance to get that enough to the table. And I think that's probably more of what you're looking for here, really. I mean, I'm not telling you you're wrong, babe. I actually like your choice. You're right. There's no map. You're not flipping anything over. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole story of things going on there. The only thing, I don't think they're actually connected. No,
right. It's not. Yeah, they're not interconnected. It's not
that happened. Right.
Yeah. It's all I
got Sleeping Gods on the back burner for a couple of months now. So we'll get it back to the table, babe.
All right. So I consider this your fault that I don't have a better pick because you just.
That's fine. I'll take it. That's fine. I'm used to it. It's okay.
I mean, it qualifies. I was actually, my other third choice would have been Near and Far. So,
okay.
Which is basically the same. Yeah. There's a slightly more overarching story going on in Near and Far, but it's the same basic concept. Is you got a town that you're playing in, and then you go out and have adventures. Right.
Yeah. I liked the little book in there. So I played Above and Below once. So it's very similar. So it passes. It gets the Jim Jam stamp of approval.
Judges. All right. Yeah.
They said it's good.
All right.
So, that is it for our picks. We got them all in, but let's not forget about the people's choices. I think somebody said earlier that Lost Ruins Arnak was on there, maybe?
I had a feeling we might talk about that.
Oh, man, that's such a good guess because it is the number one pick for the people. Yay!
Good job, people. Excellent game.
Yes, it's still a very good game. We have talked about it a bunch, but yes, Indiana Jones. You're going out discovering stuff. You're fighting monsters, and you're exploring, gathering artifacts, gathering tools to make it semi-deck builder-ish type thing. You don't have a discard pile, but you do have a deck, so that's part of it. What else? Did anybody want to add anything else to it? We've talked about it so much.
We have talked
in many different places and ways. We've talked about it a lot. I don't know. This is just. It depends. I mean, it definitely is the theme of an adventurer exploring an island. I just don't feel like I'm exploring anything with it. But I mean, theme, right? What does theme mean? It's definitely an exploration theme on this game. You definitely find artifacts and things like that. You write your knowledge out. That's, the other thing going on the side is like you explore and you notate things and your knowledge grows because of it. I mean, I hear you people. I just don't feel like I'm exploring people.
Okay, but you do have to get your movement and take your researcher and go deeper into the forest, and then you discover monsters. You flip the tile over and you see what monster is there and what you're going to get when you defeat that monster. So, I mean, there is a little bit of the exploration there.
Yeah, I mean, technically you're exploring artifacts and tools. You don't know what's going to come up next. You got bonuses on the explore track. You don't know what those could be. So, you kind of explore. And then the number 2 pick was Mansions of Madness. Shocker. But we talked about that. Yeah, number 2. And then just for honorable mentions, we're going to talk about Clank, Betrayal on House of the Hill, and Forbidden Desert. So, those are our top 5. We talked about Clank and Betrayal. Forbidden Desert, I don't think we've talked about that on the channel yet. But you're going into a desert. Yeah. So
we've played
really quick mentions.
We've never actually played Forbidden Desert. At least I haven't. I don't know if you have, babe, but we played a bunch of Forbidden Island back in the day, and I hear that's just basically an extrapolation of the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think I was the opposite. I played Forbidden Desert, but didn't play Forbidden Island. So I heard it was the same. So,
which is basically kind of a pandemic cookie cutter, give or take, where things are falling apart and you got to go put Band-Aids on things until you can get out of there.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
Basically, that's it. Okay. So that is it for exploration. And if you want to get in on our next poll, don't know what it is yet, but you can go to the Facebook and vote for our next Gaming Through theme. But yeah, let us know what you think. Facebook, come to the Discord, come to Instagram, come to Twitter, and then always, just go on down below, put some thumbs up in there and turn on the notifications, hit the subscribe button and comment below. We'll be there checking it. Come to the Discord, and then come to the Discord because that's where we'll be at. This is Jim Jam with Just Got Played. That is Erock with Just Got Played. And that is Tiffany with Just Got Played. I don't know where they are. They're all up and down in here. I don't know.
Right here.
They're right there. But catch us next time for another episode of Gaming Through Themes. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you next time.
See you later, alligator.
After a while.
Crocodile.